The 2G spectrum scam has seen a complete twist today because the Finance Ministry note to the Prime Minister's office seems to suggest there's a war within the UPA over the 2G scam. The Finance Ministry note to the PMO blames Chidambaram and goes on to suggest that Chidambaram could have insisted on auctioning spectrum, but he did not. And it appears, according to the note, Chidambaram, the current Home Minister, and A. Raja, the former Telecom Minister, agreed over the spectrum pricing. This big story, as it plays out, we've got Supriya Srinath and Navika Kumar both joining us. Supriya, first off to you, what are the details of this piece and how does that shake up the UPA?
Well, first up, it's a very, very indicting note from Pranab Mukherjee's office, a note that has had his blessings. And the note actually goes on to say that if Chidambaram had stuck to his stand, there would have been no auction of spectrum. There would have been no throwing away of spectrum at petty prices. There would perhaps have been an auction. So the note actually pointing fingers at Chidambaram and saying that P. Chidambaram is as much responsible to the loss of to the exchequer as Andimuthu Raja is. And remember, this is coming in from Pranab Mukherjee's office. He's really the de facto man who runs the government. He's the second in command. There were murmurs in the corridors of power of how Mr. Chidambaram and Mr. Mukherjee could never see eye to eye. They're not the best of friends within the UPA. But now that the rift has been out in the open, this puts a lot of questions as to why was this said in the first place. This essentially means that it not just gives ammunition to the BJP or to the left or to anybody else who was gunning for Chidambaram. It also gives a lot of ammunition to A. Raja, who's been arguing all along in the Supreme Court that he had kept the Prime Minister and the then Finance Minister P. Chidambaram in the loop. So wonder why Pranab Mukherjee did that. He of course had his reasons, but this is a big political war. It really puts into the limelight, it really puts into focus of how the rift within the UPA is widening between the two most powerful leaders. P. Chidambaram on one side, very, very strong blessings from 10 Janpath and from Sonia Gandhi, and Pranab Mukherjee on the other, not so close to the 10 Janpath in terms of his personal relationship, but a man who really runs the government. I mean, he's the man who is the UPA's chief troubleshooter. So the rift wide out in the open, and that's how the shake-up is how I see it.
Thanks very much. Of course, Navika Kumar, let's bring you in. These are the same allegations that are being made by Subramaniam Swamy, but the fact that these now come from the Finance Ministry certainly putting Chidambaram in the dock.
These new findings are not by any ordinary person in the cabinet, and if there was somebody like Pranab Mukherjee who felt like this, the issue is not about what the difference in perception was. The issue here is, was there a loss to the exchequer due to these differences in perception? And if there was a loss to the exchequer, because that's what the scam is all about, losses that have amounted to the central government, if this decision wasn't taken and something else like an auctioning of spectrum was taken, and that is where this entire note sent by the Finance Ministry is extremely important. And very clearly it says the DoT precluded the role of the Ministry of Finance in finalizing spectrum pricing. This letter, however, does not even appear to have been received and processed on the file of the Department of Economic Affairs. So what Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, under Pranab Mukherjee, the Finance Ministry is pointing out is that the DoT precluded the role of the Ministry of Finance, and the Ministry of Finance did not put up a fight.